We've all heard the headlines: prescription drug abuse growing problem in Indiana, divorce rate doubles among empty nesters, domestic violence rising with unemployment rate, more children in Indiana living in poverty. Hoosier families are up against a sea of stress and uncertainty. That's why family strengthening programs are critical. Since 1835, Families First has been a trusted source of hope, healing, and support for Central Indiana families. We help families with everyday challenges like parenting, financial stress, and marital difficulty, as well as tougher issues like family violence, addictions, and childhood trauma. If you or someone you know could benefit from our services, call us at 317-634-6341. Or if you would like to join us in our mission to strengthen families, please visit our website at www.familiesfirstindiana.org.
Ms. Edie Olson is the president of Families First, the longest lasting nonprofit organization in the wonderful circle city of Indianapolis, Indiana. Ms. Olson, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Tell me about Families First.
Families First started out in 1835 as the Indianapolis Benevolent Society. It was founded by families who wanted to help their neighbors be successful within their families and within the community. And we've survived all those years, I think in part because we have an important mission and we've had long-term support from the community, and what we do is important.
Tell me about your position.
My position is to oversee all of the programs and services and to work with our volunteer board of directors to help with fundraising and public awareness and having people know what we do and why we do it. We certainly, I'm involved sometimes with difficult family situations to help the staff figure out what's the best approach with some of those challenging things they may encounter. And just basically being a support to the staff and a voice in the community on behalf of families.
Tell me about some of the services that Families First offer to our community.
Mm-hmm. Families First does individual and family counseling, couple and marital counseling, family counseling, like if parents are having trouble with kids or parenting issues. Sometimes people are trying to figure out how to best deal with aging relatives. So we do all of those things, just kind of the run-of-the-mill problems that everybody faces at some time. And then we have more specialized kinds of services for families where there's chemical dependency or domestic violence or things that have gotten a little more serious.
I want to take another direction and talk about how important is the community involvement with Families First.
Well, it's critical because with our organization, one of our the things that's unique about us is that we want to make services available to everybody. And we want to offer services that you or I might be able to get through our insurance or through our ability to pay. We want it to be available to families who don't have insurance or don't have the means to pay. So our fees go down very low. Sometimes people may be paying $1 to $5. And of course our staff with master's degrees are making more than that. So we've got to make up the difference to cover the costs of the professional staff as well as our all of the other things that comes with running an organization.
How can one get involved with your organization?
Well, we welcome volunteers. We certainly welcome donor support, sponsorship kinds of things for some of our events. We are always open to new ideas and people who would like to be involved as far as committees or that help us to look at what programs we're offering and evaluating the services. So there are a number of ways that people can get involved.
Tell me about some success stories in your organization.
I just read one before I came that somebody had, one of our staff members was sharing. A gentleman who was is developmentally disabled, was not able to take care of of himself, and family was helping him out, but unfortunately the family took advantage of him financially and didn't really provide for his care. They were using his means for other uses, and so we got involved and took over the management of his money and pay his bills and make sure he's got what he needs. We've been able to help by sending staff members into his home on a regular basis to help him learn more about speaking up for himself, taking care of himself, better nutrition, because his nutritional status wasn't good. He was very heavy, and since we've gotten involved, he's proud that he's lost 75 pounds and is more mobile and doing better than he had been.
So tell me, how important is the counseling aspect of the organization?
Well, it's certainly important. There are some, everyday kinds of things that we help people with too, like some of those concrete help with people who need help with housekeeping and getting to the doctor and so forth. But the counseling is critical because it seems like at least most of the families that come through our doors or that we're involved with have had traumatic events in their lives, or have maybe witnessed difficult things that have still weigh on them and still are affecting how they deal in terms of their relationships and parenting and other kinds of things. So the counseling is important, and we also include kids in counseling. And I think when we were growing up, we kind of thought that when kids were little, they don't know what's going on if parents are fighting or whatever. And now as we've learned more and more about brain development, we know that kids are aware and they are affected by those things. So helping kids to be able to express in their own ways through play therapy or other ways, art therapy, to express what their feelings and thoughts are. It's surprising, I think, and parents are often surprised that the kids have absorbed or taken on as much as they have.
I want to talk a little bit about your staff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you said a lot of your staff have master degrees.
Right.
And
Yep.
tell me, how important is that, those credentials, when people look at Families First?
Yeah, well, I think it's important that when people go to private, there are lots of private counselors and so forth, and those folks are credentialed, but so are our staff. And we think that some of the families that have such difficult challenges particularly need staff with expertise and specialized training, and so our staff are licensed in a number of different areas like chemical dependency and becoming guardians, and have master's degrees in social work, marriage and family therapy, counseling. It's very important. I think a study I read that I found kind of interesting was that when families are having trouble, they are most likely to approach their family members or friends, family, neighbors, and pastor, and then, kind of the last resort is professional counseling. But what they report back is often, it's just the opposite in terms of what's most helpful. Sometimes it's the people who have a little more objectivity, and don't have as much emotional tie-in as a family or friend might, that really can be more helpful to them sometimes.
So what does the future hold for Families First?
Well, I think that we'll be around another 175 years. I won't be there probably, but I'm sure we'll be around. I think that as long as there are families, there are going to be challenges and issues. It's just an inevitable part of family life. And so I think that we're never going to go out of business, and I hope that the community will continue to believe in and support what we do, and feel it's important that families, when they hit a rough spot, that they are entitled to the kind of help that would allow them to preserve their family or their marriage or keep their kids with them. And I think as long as people believe in that mission, we'll be around.
She is Miss Edie Olson, the president of Families First, the longest lasting nonprofit organization in the wonderful Circle City of Indianapolis, Indiana.
We've all heard the headlines: prescription drug abuse growing problem in Indiana, divorce rate doubles among empty nesters, domestic violence rising with unemployment rate, more children in Indiana living in poverty. Hoosier families are up against a sea of stress and uncertainty. That's why family strengthening programs are critical. Since 1835, Families First has been a trusted source of hope, healing, and support for Central Indiana families. We help families with everyday challenges like parenting, financial stress, and marital difficulty, as well as tougher issues like family violence, addictions, and childhood trauma. If you or someone you know could benefit from our services, call us at 317-634-6341. Or if you would like to join us in our mission to strengthen families, please visit our website at www.familiesfirstindiana.org.